Alright, here I got Retaking Vierville's ASL Scenario S1. My Americans are on the scenario card, the map is out, and I'm ready to kick ass. Taking a look at the scenario, I'm going to give you some pointers in how to approach your setup and think of different ways how your opponent can try to outthink you in this particular situation. You might think, Stu, all the setups are automatically automated for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about anything. There you'll find that you might be mistaken, my friend. I do not refer to SK as starter kit. I refer to SK as ASL skills, because the starter kit will create the skills that is necessary to be successful in the starter kit, the skill section of the game, and also the ASL game. I hate calling it full ASL because it's just ASL. So ASLSK is ASL skill development, and ASL is just playing the game. So take that in mind when you guys are playing. You're not playing a lesser game, you're just playing a game that will focus on creating the skills necessary to be successful. So first thing, of course, we look at our victory conditions. I think everyone's familiar with these victory conditions. Americans win at game end if there are no good order German units in the associated buildings that you see there. Okay, that means if the Germans are broken in those buildings, they do not satisfy the victory conditions. If the Germans are in close combat in those buildings, they do not satisfy the Germans as being good order. So if the Americans, all the Germans are in all the buildings and they're all broken or in close combat, they do not qualify for control, and therefore the Americans will win. Honestly, it doesn't say control. There's a difference between occupying them with good order units or having control of the building. Notice the victory conditions makes a distinction between control and actual presence of good order units. Big distinction, and that's what we need to focus on. So in essence, we don't care if they're there, they just need to be broken or in close combat. So keep that in mind, skilled players. So let's take a look at our little setup. Let's take our little guys right here. First of all, let's mark those buildings. I'm going to mark them. Let me zoom out here. I got my map set over here with the expanded map set. I'm going to mark them with, oops, some residual firepower counters. Because they kind of look like victory control hexes. So let's zoom in over here. Mark those particular hexes. Actually, oh, there you go. Let's mark, we need this building, this building, this building, and that building. Those are obnoxious counters, so I'm just going to scale them down to make them look more like victory point hexes. So those are the ones we need to worry about. So if we want to keep our mind focused on those, we can leave those in those hexes and we're good to go. So let's grab our counters. And here we are. The Americans, boom, I'm just going to stack them over here, throw them over here. Review where my guys are set up. N3, it's no more than one multi-man counter per hex. I'm just going to throw them out here, then we're going to look at it. So N3, N4, M5, L5. I'm just going to leave the leader off to the side here for a moment because we'll discuss him in just a second. So you might think, say, Stu, doesn't matter. 337 L5, I don't care. He's fine there because we're just going to move in the buildings and take position. Or 337 over here because he might be a little bit more exposed out in the open. I don't want my 747 shot. Whatever you may think, but you have to think about what you want to be doing by the end of turn 1. Okay, more than likely, hopefully these units will be unbroken by the time it gets to your turn. It's possible that they're not, but those are also contingencies that we must look at. So let's before you just throw them out here, say, okay, this looks good, Stu. Boom, got my A-1 smack dab in the middle so everyone can rally to them, and we're ready to go. Come on, bring them on, Germans. Doesn't work that way. You need to see where the Germans are coming on, and you need to see how much of the Germans are coming on. So let's go scan the German card. Every single turn of the game, up here in the upper corner, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Germans come on, Americans come on. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Lots of guys are coming on the map. So the map is very dynamic in how the game will progress. All of the Americans, as you see here, will come along the north edge, which is this edge right here. Okay? All the Germans will come along the east edge, which will be the right-hand side, minus the first turn guys right here. The 7-0s will be coming on this. So I'm just going to stick them in here. Those guys are coming on there, and all these other guys are going to be coming on the east edge. These guys are coming on turn 1. These guys, oh, I'm just going to leave those there. We'll come back to them, okay? So zoom out, turn 1, anywhere along this edge, anywhere along this edge. Most of the time, what I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, right? The Germans will most likely come in through here, and probably come through here and establish some defensive positions here to stop the Americans from coming from the top of the map. That's legitimate. The Germans might also take a different route and go directly to the victory condition hexes. So you kind of have to know your opponent on how he might be able to respond to the situations. But take into consideration also what happens with the Germans. Okay? He's going to be reinforcements on turn 2 and reinforcements on turn 3. So his initial units that are over here don't necessarily need to go to our victory conditions hexes. He can leave those alone. He most likely will move to defensive positions to stop the Americans from coming on or slow their advance, because this is kind of open ground. You know, a lot of guys will go into R7 shooting you because that's a full straight shot. So anticipate the Germans probably going here and stopping your guys, slowing your guys coming down. So let's go with that. So anticipating that move there, let me just draw it. We're going to anticipate some sort of action here of going on there, and we're going to anticipate the 7-4 this group on the right hand side. We're going to anticipate these guys doing something similar, maybe coming down the back road and heading to our victory conditions hexes. Okay, so that's standard. I mean, everyone's seen this scenario, everyone's seen kind of how it develops, but given the aggressiveness of some players, it may develop completely differently. So in reaction to that, again, with the German players, they're bringing reinforcements on from the right-hand side over here, the east side. Our guys will come to the north side. And one thing to keep in mind is every single turn, we're going to have a leader, and a leader. Every single turn, we're going to have someone that can rally units that might be broken over here. So, given that information, just strictly given that information, I might consider putting the American leader in the center, or the American leader further up, furthest away from that edge. And you say, Stu, why would you want to do that? Why not group up with all your other guys? Because this force here, in my game plan against Dennis, I'm going to attempt to have these units to penetrate. Erase that. Let's turn it to American green. Okay, I want these guys. That's not American green, people. There we go. I love it. Love it. Okay, these guys are hopefully, these are probably the safest area for those units, are going to penetrate through here. Not necessarily that far, but that's kind of the idea. You say, Stu, why would you do there? You're going away from your victory conditions. Because you know one of two things. You know that you're going to be swamped on turns 2 and 3 by the other German units that are coming on. These forces here, 548s, 548s. Those are full, essentially those are full firepower squads that fire with full efficacy in the advanced fire phase simply because of their advanced fire capabilities. The assault fire is what you're looking at, people. Spray fire doesn't exist in ASL skills, but the assault fire does. Okay, the assault fire is a very important stat. The 548 is probably the strongest unit overall amongst elite units in the game Of course, minus like, you know, 747 is a little bit different, but it has an 8 morale and it will have very good firepower. So back to what we're looking at here. Say, Stu, why would you go that way? Let's take a look at what's going to happen. We think the Germans are going to come through here. So let's say the Germans, he's got the stack. He enters 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6, and then he can advance there. That's legitimate. He could also possibly make it to L3, but he might be having firepower from here. So given that a normal German advance, let's say, how much firepower can we get on this guy? Well, right here, he actually might have an LOS to that location, and these squads might have an LOS to that location. Or if you don't think he's going to go there, if you think he's going to be passive and go to K2, you might consider switching those 2 units around. So he can possibly have a shot down on J2. But if he's going to go to K2, he's going to go 2, 4, 6. And you're not going to get any valid shot for the most part. You're going to get a 2 even at most. And so if you think he's going to be passive and go that way, you're not going to get anything. But a normal aggressive German will make its way to those victory conditions turn 1. It's only a 5-turn scenario. So say that's fine, Stu. Why not put your 337 up here to save your 747s later? Because the off chance that these Germans here penetrate straight in going, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, and then advance phase into here. First of all, they don't get shot at by anybody. And next, he advances there. This 337 has 0 offensive capability against that hex. That's a 2+3. That's garbage. Okay? So I might considering you might want to penetrate and get as much firepower. If our plan is to go this way, occupy K6 and put pressure on K4, is put 2 strong units here instead of that. Again, I would put the 747 on this side to get a little bit longer range firepower and have that same firepower going. In case he happens to mistakenly go into J2, you're gonna make him pay. That's clear LOS. You're gonna make him pay. Boom. Okay. So we're looking at our center piece here. Say, Stu, Germans are here turn 1. What are you gonna do? L5. It's gonna be a bad spot. Well, take a look at what the Americans have that you guys need to use. You see this? What this is here? Look at what the counter says. Elite, assault fire, ELR exempt. And the superscript, which would be a 3, which means his smoke exponent. So smoke is very, very good for moving. So turn 1, Germans go here. We want to get into K6. I want my buddy here behind me to join me in K6. Or at least some other location. So initial turn 1, we can assault move here for 2. Okay? That's a legitimate move. Unlikely that he's going to exert all of his firepower. It's going to be a 12+4 shot. He might fire, he might not. If he fires, we're scot-free. We got whatever we want to do, because then he won't be able to do anything else. So we assault move here, and with the assault move, we still have movement factors left over. We could then attempt smoke placement here by expending another 2 movement factors. So we haven't expended all of our movement factors, but we still did a 1 move hex, and then we could drop smoke behind us. Okay? Let's say we get smoke there. Let's find our smoke. There it is. Beautiful counter. Learn to love this counter. Find it, live it, love it, put it next to your prep fire. Okay? Let's say we have a 50% chance of getting smoke there. Let's say we smoke it. Then this unit is free to go assault move into the smoke, or just simply 2 and then 4 later on. This will give him +2 coverage. It will negate first fire movement in the open penalties. It will not negate non-assault movement, but we also have this edge here to defend to give us a hindrance value. So that's going to be a +1 hindrance. It's going to be a +2 hindrance from the smoke, so we have a +3 total of hindrances. And if we do a non-assault movement going 2 and then 4, because we have to add another movement factor going to the smoke, we'll have a -1 for non-assault movement. The first fire movement open does not apply due to this hindrance, or due to this hindrance if this hindrance does not exist. So we're looking at a maybe 12 plus 2. Not a bad shot. And guess what? If he breaks, let's say if he breaks, right? Boom. Where's he routing? Right exactly where he needs to route. So let's say that does happen. He breaks and he can route here. What's he going to need to rally? And if he fires on that guy, then these guys are scot-free to move. So we got him to go 1, and then he can go 2, 3, right? Because after he fires 12 firepower, this is going to be a 6 or 12 plus 3 shot. You might not want to do that, or you might just want to jump here and then advance phase there. Again, him, maybe assault move and then advance phase. Or you can move him back here and get on this side. Or in that case, if he first fires on our unit, let's get our counter. Let's say he first fires because he's like, he shot at this guy over here. This unit is 1, 2, 3. That's a free move. And then he could advance phase here or advance phase there. Over here is a kind of a bad move because you got nothing to do. But he can at least move here, or this unit can move there to frighten this unit. You know, move the 337 here. Maybe get him to subsequent first fire because he's scared. Whoops. Because he's scared. Come on, baby. Let's go. And then this unit's just free to move. And then, heck, at that point, if he's final fired, you might just want to go there. If he fires again, it'll be a morale check. So essentially, you're just moving a unit for morale check. And then he can just route wherever he wants. He can route back here and self-rally by the time. Because he will not leave this location to chase him down. If he does, he's probably going to lose the game. So, given that instance, he breaks. Worst scenario, he breaks. Okay? He's not going to die, he's just going to break. What does he need to rally next rally phase? He'll be DM. Let's find our DM counter. Desperation morale. Okay. He's DM'd. Say, Stu, he's all jacked up, +4. Yes, so what? Americans 8 morale. Best in the game on Broken Side. From a 7 morale to 8 morale. He's in a building. That makes it +1. He's got a leader. And that -1 essentially kind of makes it like a +2 to aid to rally. So this unit goes from a 4 to a 6 to rally. Not horrible. It's very doable. And let's say he rallies. Then this is gone. And this is exactly where he needs to be. And of course that smoke's going to be gone too. We'll just blow those off the side. Alright? So at this situation, this unit's surrounded. We've got 12 firepower here. And we got 20 firepower smoking at him this way. If he fires this way, this is going to have a free shot coming this way. So we're putting pressure on the 447s. And guess what? Turn 2 comes around. Let's say we put pressure on this guy because he doesn't break anybody. What's going to happen? More than likely, their turn 2 guys over here are going to be coming this way. Alright? They might be coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to jump on the Americans, which is fine. Because that puts them one more turn away from their objective. Remember, these guys most likely are going to be over here. Okay? These guys, if we delay them by forcing them to come this way versus coming straight up the middle for the objective, is what we want to do. Again, when he comes on turn 1, our guys come on turn 1. And then if these guys delay, you know, again, if they delay, that's fine. Because if these guys ignore us and they go for those buildings, guess what? He has to go along this hex row right here. And we've got 14 firepower at a range of 4 to here. So if he comes, well, that was a cool zoom, huh? So if he comes here, we've got 14 -2. -1 leader, -1 non-assault movement. 14 -2, those units are gone. Straight up. If 1 unit remains, it doesn't matter. We can just go back in that area with our smoke and destroy them. Or put pressure on these guys so we can make that move. Okay? So he can cover the backside of this one by putting pressure this way. If he goes into here, he can't cover that backside because this building will be in the way. This unit can just come up this road and come straight in on us. So this unit is a better firing position, even though it's going to be halved, than a position in centralized. Or again, if the Germans come on the backside over here to exert firepower pressure, he'll never go in the +1 woods, most likely. He'll always jump in the buildings. If he goes in the +1 woods, then he deserves to die. So pressure here, and then we've got, by that time, turn 2, these guys are on. All right. We've got 4 or 5 squads. Let's just say they all pile in here. That much American firepower is going to destroy this German in short order. A lot of times a guy will put a guy there. I think that's committing suicide if you put him in this building. It's just not a good idea. But the Americans can come up here through smoke and then make their way and attack the Germans that way. It may delay them a little bit, but that's okay. So that's what we're looking at. Turn 3, again, the dynamic changes. He has more guys, only 2 squads coming on now. This might be his victory point grab squads. These guys at this point might be the ones going up in the middle when this guy starts to engage from this location. He might drop smoke because guess what? Okay, a 2 exponent on that German unit, and he's got 3 of them. So he's got 3 attempts to drop smoke here, so these units can run right up through the middle. That's where you need to make, that's where decision comes in the skill aspect of squad leader. Where to move, when to move, and how much smoke to drop, potentially drop. Okay? So that's the plan. I want my Americans to be in about this position. Germans can be in various positions, and I will make future changes based on how that works. So let's see what Dennis has to say about his strategy based on my initial setup, because he'll know what my setup is right from the beginning. So let's go see what's going on, skilled players.